This is not your normal gatefold card. When you open it up, the center pops right out at you. Hello everyone and welcome to sunnydaystamping.com. I'm Julie Baca and I am so excited that you're here. We are going to make this fun fold card and it looks really complex. Hold up, don't go because it looks complicated, but it really isn't. I'm going to break it down into simple, easy to follow steps and so that you're going to be able to make this at home. You're going to be able to put anything you want as the focal point of this card. This is kind of like a card template that you're going to be able to use with lots of the things that you already have at home. If you do want your card to look exactly like mine, I've got a blog post that's linked in the description of this video. You can click that and go right over there, and I list the full all of the supplies that I use, and you can purchase them right from there. There's also additional photos over there, and that's where you're going to find all of the measurements and the scoring measurements for this card. I thought the ice cream swirl stamp and die set would be perfect for this card to have that big ice cream cone just sticking right out there. This bundle is an online exclusive, so you won't find them in the catalog. They're just available online. I love how this die set cuts out the ice cream cone, but you can also just that can be stamped, but you can also cut it out so it's just made of paper. You can have it have some texture to the cone or just plain and stamped. And then you cut out all the different pieces of fruit, some sprinkles, or even a wrapper for the ice cream cone. Now, I'm not using all that stuff today. We're going to try to keep this as simple as possible. But one thing I really wanted to do, I didn't want to use patterned paper. I wanted to make just a subtle background. So I'm going to use the same color as ink as the cardstock and just use these small little pieces repeatedly for the outside and the inside. Now I've got several examples to show you at the end, but I'm using this same color palette. Don't those look just delicious? So we're going to start by getting all our parts and pieces made first, and we're going to start by just picking out a couple of these little embellishments that you want for your card, and we're going to stamp those. And now the way I got that deep, rich color is actually coloring them in with these Stampin' Blends markers. But what you want to do, one tip when you're using that is make sure that you let your black Memento ink dry completely before you color those in. That will keep it from bleeding in these lines. It's just going to give you a crisper image like this one. And since we have our black ink out, we might as well do our greetings. And I'm going to just get a piece of paper that's bigger than you need, and then we'll cut it down. So this one, I'm going to cut it down to this size, and I don't have it measured. Just put it in your trimmer and start trimming. But this one, I need it to be fairly small. So I'm going to stamp it towards the bottom of this piece of paper. And close to the side. So all I have to do is just trim that out as small as I can. Now, if you like to use scissors, you can definitely trim around that if you want. I do not love doing that. See, so then I just put this in my trimmer and trim it down, and if I'm like, oh, that's a little too big, then I just trim a little bit off. That just keeps you from having to measure so many things. You just kind of eyeball what you want it to look like. And now this one I'm going to put in here. And the nice thing is about this trimmer, you can see right through it. So you can see exactly where it's going to cut so that you don't cut off your letters. So I'm just going to cut out the pieces to the ice cream cone first before I stamp them. You can do it either way. This is just the way I want to do it right now. And you can see that this ice cream cone is like extra big. They made it that way so that if you wanted to put this embossed piece in here, which is actually going to create some holes, that you can fold this over and you're not going to see through the back. This makes a great tag, but what I'm going to do is just do 2 ice cream cones at once. So I'm going to just cut this in half, and now I have mine for another card because I never make one of a card. If I'm going to grab all my stuff out, we are making multiples. So now I'm just going to use the same color of ink as I have for my cardstock to stamp the ice cream cone, because then either I don't have to color it in all the way or I don't have to color it in at all. It's just a personal preference how you want it to look. We are going to color it in just so I can show you how some different options, but you don't even have to do that. I mean, look, it looks fantastic just like that. But now I'm going to also stamp on the cone. Check out this stamp. It's so cute. It puts the little crisscrosses on here. I'm just going to line this up. There we go. So now we're just going to color in our little pieces here. They've been sitting long enough. I absolutely am crazy about these Stampin' Blends markers because I am not a colorer person. I guess I'm just not like I like to do things quickly and I feel like this is slow, but oh my goodness, it is so worth it and so just therapeutic. These markers are just, they're so smooth and I love it. Okay, so now I'm going to use, this is Real Red, and I'm going to use the light all over this cherry. These come in a 2-pack. You can't buy them single. They're all in a 2-pack, one light, one dark, so that you can get this incredible dimension of color. And when you first do it, it looks like it's not, it needs to dry to fully develop because it will like have harsher marks, but then just let it dry. It like blends all in, all luscious and perfect. Now for the strawberry, I could do it the same as the cherry, but I like doing it light pink all over because not all strawberries are fully red. And because like up at the top, it has a little white sometimes. So now I'm doing it light Real Red. Now I'm gonna go back and do my dark Real Red right where the artist has the darker marks. That's where I'm putting this here. And now we'll go back with the light. Even though this is light, I can go right over this darker red and it's not picking up the ink at all. And so I'm just smoothing that in. This is actually like taking some of that red out so that it has that wonderful lusciousness. I love it. One thing when you're using Stampin' Blends markers, make sure they click. These are alcohol markers, which obviously dries out really quick. So make sure they click, and you also want to store them flat. They're made flat like this, which is great, so they're not rolling off your desk, but they're also meant to be stored flat. They'll last longer because otherwise, like if you store this one up on end, this tip is gonna start to dry out. Oh no, we need a little bit of green. We need a little bit of green. Oh no, look, I was impatient. I didn't wait quite long enough. And this is what I was talking about. Do you see how it's kind of bleeding through there? So just wait a little longer before you color yours in. So now I'm just using the dies to cut out these pieces. You actually don't need the dies if you don't mind fussy cutting all of these pieces out. You definitely could do that. Well, maybe not the ice cream cone. No, you definitely could do the ice cream cone. But because I don't like that, I always look for stamp sets that will cut it out for me or die sets. Now I'm using Lemon Lolly cardstock, Lemon Lolly ink that I stamped on this ice cream, and now the Lemon Lolly Stampin' Blends markers. This is what Stampin' Up! Is amazing at, is their color perfection because everything like goes together. It doesn't, you don't have just like, oh wow, that is just the wrong color of yellow. That doesn't go together. These all go together. And then the pattern papers that you buy like have the exact same colors in them. I love that. And I'm talking and coloring and this isn't working. Okay, I gotta shut up for just a minute. So with this, because I didn't want to color the whole ice cream cone in, you can leave the other parts light and then use the light and the dark. And I'm going to show you this now, which it doesn't look awesome because the colors haven't fully dried yet. And then I'll show you it later. So then we're just going to glue this together. And what you're going to want to do though is grab your card base because you don't want your ice cream cone extending past, you don't want it too big because you want it to be able to fold in there. So just make sure that it's not too big. Then I'm just going to put this little colorful straw, which I don't know why, maybe it's a cookie. Maybe it's one of those pirouette cookies or something. But honestly, the reason why I put it in there is because I needed a blast of color, and this is the perfect way to do it. So we've got all our little bits and pieces done. We'll save those off to the side, and now we'll do the card base. So now you're going to grab all the little stamps out of that stamp set. I did not wipe these off before. Remember, these had the black ink on them, so I'm wiping them on my chamois to clean them off. And we're going to use all these pieces. No, we're not going to use the straw. I'll put that away. But we're going to use the same color of ink as the cardstock. So I've got Bubble Bath cardstock. I'm going to use the Bubble Bath ink. And I'm just going to take these smaller stamps and randomly, that's completely straight up and down. Oi, we're going to randomly stamp this all over, making sure you have some of them going off the paper in different ways. Here's some a stamp that you can use for sprinkles, but we're going to use it as kind of like confetti over here, like that. There's a yum, yum, yum. This looks really cute, repeated, so we're going to put this all over. So on your project sheet, you'll see that I've got it organized where Bubble Bath, and there are 4 different things you're going to cut out of Bubble Bath. The card base, this, which we're going to stamp on, cut it, and those will be the panels, and then 2 little pieces of paper. You'll see I've got the scoring measurements on there too. All of these measurements are over on my website, sunnydaysstamping.com. But if you like the printable project sheet, these are for my email subscribers, and they go out on Friday morning. My newest project sheet goes out on Friday morning. So you're going to stamp on this little piece too, making sure it's in this orientation because these are the panels for the front of the card, and we're just going to cut it in half. Then lastly, you're going to grab this strip, and you can just take one of the stamps and stamp along this strip. If you're like, oh, Julie, you lost me with all that stamping, you do not need to stamp all this. I just wanted to give an option for if you don't have patterned paper available to you. You can see how you can easily make it with just your cardstock and one color of ink. But you could also cut all of these as a designer series paper panels. So this one, now you're going to put it back in your paper trimmer and cut it at 1 7/8. These are going to be the panels for the front of the card. And so if you wanted more panels for the inside of your card, you'd cut them these same way. So now we're going to score our card base, which you could do with your paper trimmer, but when I'm doing multiple scorings, I like to just use my, hold on, I can't talk and do this at the same time, 2 1/8. Okay, I like to just use my Simply Scored board. And so for this, you need 4 score lines, 2 1/8 from each end, and 4 1/4, which is right down the middle. Now you're going to take that little strip and you're going to score it at 1/2 inch on both ends. And I just find it easier to flip it over instead of trying to find the other measurement. And now you have this little strip here. I didn't realize that was off the camera. Hopefully all that was on the camera. Sheesh. For this one, you're going to, and all the measurements are on your project sheet or on my website, but you're going to score it at 1/2 and 1, 2 and 2 1/2. And this is going to be that little pop-up mechanism. All right, are you ready to put this thing together? So you're going to fold and burnish these 2 in. This is kind of like your regular looking gatefold card, right? Whereas these and these panels go on the front. So now you do have this score line down the back. I'm not going to burnish that. I am going to fold it in half just lightly, but I don't really want it burnished because I want it kind of to be more rounded, not like folded in half. That's really not a big deal at all. Okay, now take this strip, this one, and you're just going to fold the little ends down, and we're going to put glue on the little tabs. A little bit there and a little bit there. And then you're going to put this directly in the center of your card, making sure that these can still fold, and it should measure out absolutely perfectly. Hold that down until it is stuck. You really want it to be nice and stuck. And now you can see you've got that pop up here, but we're going to pop it up even more with this little gem of a piece of paper. So you're going to actually just fold on the score lines, fold it in, burnish it, then fold this back on itself, then fold this side in and fold it back on itself. get this other side. So now it kind of looks like this. Can you see that? So now we're going to fold this in and put glue on these two tabs, and this is what's going to go down. We're going to put it directly in the center here, which is easy to find because you've got your fold line right there, and you're just going to put that right there, and you're going to hold this for quite some time. Go ahead and sing the happy birthday song or something. Make sure it's nice and stuck, or you can use a different adhesive, like adhesive tape. That'll be immediately stuck. So now you can see when you bow this out, this piece pops up too. So you've got some extra popping. Now we're going to put, you're going to make sure that those are stuck first before you'd put anything else on there, which mine is nice and stuck. And then you're just going to put some glue here, and this is where your focal point goes. Whatever you choose to be your focal point, and hold that down. Now I really liked it having the greeting like on my ice cream cone because it's going to pop up. And so I'm going to just glue it not all the way across. I don't know. I kind of liked it off to the side. And then grab my little cherry and put a little glue there and pop it here. Now you can see I made a mistake. That would not close. So we want to make sure this is out of the way of that score line here, so that it's going to be, come on now, I gotta rotate it. There we go. Okay. So now that's going to close. I'm actually going to use that to squish that down there, because look at that. Isn't that so cool? I just think that's so awesome. Okay, so now this is obviously not going to stay flat. So we're gonna have to make a belly band for this. But that is really easy. You're just gonna take a strip of paper that's 10 inches long and take your bone folder. And I like to make a curl in mine because I don't like my belly bands to be folded. Oh, do you know what we forgot? We have to put a pretty stamp on the back of here. There, that's all better. Okay, so now we're gonna wrap our belly band around here and glue this in place. You can see I'm not creasing the edges here. I do want it tight enough to hold my card closed, but not so tight that it won't come off. And not creasing that solves that problem. Now for this greeting, I could have done the seam in the front. It would have been covered up, which I guess I'll go ahead and just flip that around. But for my other greetings, I'll show you in my examples. You'll have to put the seam in the back. So now you just put glue here and put your greeting on the front. And then take whatever little beautiful thing that you made and well, I guess we should decide where we're going to put it first. Yeah. I love when things are hanging off the side. So I want to like completely cover up that corner there, like that. So now we did it, and it was so much easier than you thought, right? I hope so. Let me show you all of these examples. So first I'm going to show you one that's like exactly like this, but instead of stamping the cone, I cut it out. Oh, I forgot to show you the cone close up once it all dried. Isn't that like perfection and luscious? It really does develop. Okay, so then compare which one you like better. This one is using the dies to just cut out the paper, and then here is the just that embossed piece. And then the greeting was too big, so I actually cut it in half. I don't know, what do you guys think about that? I thought that was a pretty cool solution to my problem. So now I use these same colors, but reversed them to make a yellow card with a pink ice cream cone. So that's super cute. And then I love chocolate. I love chocolate. So I thought, how about I make a chocolate card? And I did stamp on there. It's very subtle. It's actually more apparent in person. But look at this brown with the pink. I am in love with this. What is happening? There we go. Now, this one is not, it's too dark to write on. So I put 2 panels in the back so that you can write on those. And check this out with the soft seafoam. Who are my mint chocolate chip lovers? Look at this. This is actually my favorite kind of ice cream, the chocolate chip. So look at all the different looks you can get just by changing up the colors, but we didn't even use that many colors and just mix and match them to make them beautiful. so many of you have taken advantage of Stampin' Up's retiring product sale. That ends at the end of April, as well as my April thank you gift, which is a 47 project sheet bundle that you download, and these are my past project sheets that I've emailed out before, but kind of bundled them all up as a thank you gift. But because you guys have liked that so much, I've decided I'm going to start doing that for the next couple months. We'll see how you guys like it. I'm going to create brand new projects that are exclusive just for my customers placing orders over $50. I'm going to make one card template that's going to be so versatile. You're going to be able to use it with all the stamp sets you have at home. And then I'm going to show you 4 different examples of how to use that with the stuff that you have at home. And I'm going to create an exclusive video that is only available for that. So watch out for that in May, as well as the new catalog starts May 1st. So thank you so much for watching today. I appreciate every view, every like, every comment. I read them all. Have a sunny day.